Let's name the property of equality that the statement illustrates. So please go ahead and look at these and have a chance to answer them. So we're going to know that this one is symmetric because it folds right over on my symmetric line. So this is symmetric property. We know that this one is reflexive because it just looks at each other. So this is reflexive property. And we know this one is transitive because if I know measure of angle 1 equals measure of angle 2, that was just this guy right here. But I also know measure of angle 2 equals measure of angle 2, but I know measure of angle 2 equals measure of angle 5. I cut my middleman out and I get measure of angle 1 equals measure of angle 5. So this is my transitive property of equality. Started to write property. Transitive property. All right, let's do our last example. You reflect the beam of a spotlight off a mirror flat on a stage as shown. Determine whether measure of dBA is equal to measure of EBC. So we're going to write our equation and our reason again. Write our equation and our reason again. Okay, well, I'm just going to list what I know first. These little arcs are telling me that they are congruent. So that's telling me measure of angle 1 is equal to measure of angle 3. This is given to me in diagram. Okay. I also know that the measure of dBA by my angle addition property is angle 2 plus angle 3. So measure of angle dBA is equal to measure of angle 2 plus measure of angle 3. My reason is the angle addition property. I have my measure of angle dBA. Now let's see what my measure of angle CBE is equal to. Measure of angle CBE is equal to measure of angle 1 plus measure of angle 2. Okay. But how am I able to prove that these two are equal to each other? These don't equal the same thing. So what can I do in order to prove that they're equal to each other? This is our angle addition property. Okay. I encourage you to think about it. Is there any way we can get these two to look the same? I already have measure of angle 2 and measure of angle 2. How can I get these two to be the same thing? So pause the video. Okay, so we know that measure of angle 1 is equal to measure of angle 2, right? We said that was given. So I can substitute in one of these. So I can say the measure of angle CBE is equal to measure of angle 3 plus measure of angle 2. I just substituted this guy for measure of angle 1 because I know that they're congruent, and that's called my substitution property of equality. Okay, at this point, I know that measure of CBE equals measure of angle 3 plus measure of angle 2. I know that measure dBA is equal to measure of angle 2 plus measure of angle 3. These two equations are now the same, which means they are now my middleman that I can cancel out. So I can say measure of angle CBE is equal to measure of angle dBA by my transitive property of equality. Okay. Why did that work? Because measure of angle CBE is equal to measure of angle 3 plus measure of angle 2. But I know that measure of angle 3 plus measure of angle 2 equals the same thing as well. And this equation was just this one right up here, which equaled the measure of angle dBA. Oh, right off the screen. Okay. So I cut my middleman to get the measure of angle CBE is equal to measure of angle DBA. Awesome. See you guys in class.